What is up, YouTube? Today I'm going to be doing a review on the Sitka Bino harness 10x42. I'm not affiliated with Sitka or any brand I may do a review for in the future. I simply do it just because I notice little things after using them. And I know specifically with this Bino harness, before purchasing, I went online and tried to find some reviews, pick other people's brains, and there wasn't a lot of content on this particular harness other than people showing it. I can Google it and look at it myself. I wanted to see in depth of what they thought, and I just haven't found that yet. So I figured I would do one. A little bit of background of why I picked what I did. Originally I'm from Wyoming, so I'm used to, open country and lots of hiking and glassing, etc. But in the last 2.5 years, I moved to Washington, Western Washington, and it's a complete different way of hunting up here, if you will, a lot more sitting rather than spot and stock type. And it actually made me think about my gear more for maybe when I do decide to not walk over the mountains. So the first thing, we'll just pull this off here. Like I said, this is the 10x42. It actually is pretty cool. I have 12x50 binos, but they were able to fit in here pretty easy. I liked it was so slim, and they actually didn't have a pair of 12x50s, and I was cutting a little close. It was late August, so I just decided to run with them, and it worked. So that was nice. So you do have, here's the back, so you can kind of get a look at that. Just some real light mesh type with camouflage on the bottom. It's a pretty quiet material, neoprene almost feels like. From what I discovered, it was pretty waterproof or water resilient. And now I liked it because it was so light and it was comfy. On your shoulders, didn't really feel like you had a lot of weight bearing on them. Now, I like to have my binos right here, right in the middle of my chest. So not really torso, not really down here like a lot of guys have them. I like to have them up here so I can, do everything with, if I'm, using another hand, I can use this hand and do it. Now, the thing that really drove me nuts about this was the zipper. So that's how it opens and closes. It's a zipper connected to almost like a metal rod, and then it flips down, and you have a magnet right here and a magnet right here, and you also have a magnet in the back right there. And that's, you can, but the zipper is super loud. If and there's certain sounds in the woods that are good to make and zippers are not one of those noises. Personally, I don't think a zipper on a bino harness is the best idea, just because if it's a shell, it echoes, if that makes sense. So you can, it's not really the quietest. The next thing was, I did like, it has somewhat of a harder back, so it was easier to use one hand to pull it out. And it does come with little tie downs, is what I call them, whatever you want to call them. But the only problem is how short they are. It's maybe 6-7 inches of cord. And for you dudes that do like to wear it down here, that's going to be, that's pushing it. And for me, I like to, when I have it available, glass on a tripod, and it's not, it's not just a simple clip on, clip off. It's the rings you got to run through there, and sometimes that's just kind of a pain in the butt. So I did not like the tie downs. They were too small. Not enough room. Even there was an instance where I let my buddy look through my binos, and we were cheek to cheek because it was so short. So maybe extend those on the next year's model. I don't know. It did come with a cleaning cloth, and it has these little interior pouches. Show you. So it has interior pouches on the inside, right here, where you got your cleaning cloth. And there's another one on this side. And then, as you probably already saw, you have 2 on the outside. Now, I like all of the pockets, you know, for elk diaphragm calls, you know, whatever it may be, if the pockets were more secure. This one, it's not really quite deep enough to cover the whole windicator bottle. So it fell out on me a lot. Thank God I was paying attention, and it's bright orange, obviously, because it just comes right in and out. Again, you know, maybe if that was a zipper, who knows if it would have been better, because like I said, zippers, for me, they're just a little too noisy. Now the adjustment, so it's just a normal lanyard with a buckle on it, and you can roll it up, and there's a Velcro strap to secure it after. That worked out nice. It was nice for, you know, if I added a layer, took layers off. The only thing that I ended up running into is a lot of the gear I use is merino wool or the synthetic merino wool, and it catches on Velcro super easy, and it just rubs, and before you know it, it looks like, you know, just a bird's nest on your elbow or on your ribs where you're rubbing. So I ended up putting some electrical tape on mine just to kind of cover the Velcro. But after, you know, using it for just a couple months, I'm not so sure that I'd rather have a system where I could put it on, and maybe with those have, you know, an elastic strap on it that you can just fold your strap into and then pull the elastic one over. That one would be easier in my opinion. No Velcro. I'm not really with the Velcro thing. Another big thing, I don't know why Sitka does not make this, but it has drove me nuts since day one, is a rangefinder holster, harness, whatever you want to call it. That was, you know, I found ways around it, obviously. I ended up just, you know, if this was clipped, if I had it on, I would just have it, you know, mounted right here with the clip on my rangefinder, and then I had like a little lanyard, retractable lanyard, that would be clipped to something just for a tie down in case it did fall off. And I know a lot of the Bino cases I'm looking at now, new ones, they either come with something you know, made internally for your rangefinder, or they make a separate thing, or they do both. So I don't know why Sitka hasn't got on that yet, but that'd be super cool if they could. Now, it is overall, I was happy with the way, you know, how slim it was, and it was simple, you know, there's not a lot going on, but the zipper, big thing, you know, the lanyards, or tie downs, whatever you want to call them, you know, a little too short, and I wish there was a way to adjust them, but there's not. So yeah, I hope that's helpful. Let me know what you guys think, and if you guys have any Bino harnesses that you guys try and you've liked, let me know. I'm open to all kinds of stuff right now.